Hi guys, my name is Shukesh and today I have for you the Lenovo Moto G5 Plus, which is I think more or less a Moto Z Play Mini, or I can say a Redmi Note 4 killer. This smartphone is priced at 17,000 rupees for the 4GB RAM variant, and there is also a 15,000 rupees version with 3GB RAM. Now the storage on this higher version is 32GB, which is quite surprising considering you can get the Moto M just by paying 1000 rupees extra and get 64GB internal storage, though Moto M doesn't even come close to this device as far as the specifications are concerned. There you have the Moto G5 Plus, which is, as I just mentioned, is a mini Moto Z Play with the same CPU, GPU, RAM, the display resolution, only the display size and the design profiles are different. And why I think it's a Redmi Note 4 killer is because you can record 4K videos at this price point. 4K recording is a deal breaker for me. No need to mention you get the same specs as the Note 4, and if this smartphone doesn't get hit up as the Moto G4 Plus, then probably this is the best smartphone at around 15,000 rupees. Before I talk more about the handset, let's have a quick look at the accessories you get. As usual, you have a very basic Motorola earphone. If you are into music, then definitely get a premium one. Most of the entry-level devices nowadays doesn't even bother to include this, so I should not complain. For talking, watching movies or casual music listening, this headphone will solve the purpose. The most interesting accessory you get in the box is this power adapter, which you need to unbox as well. There you go, the Motorola power brick with piano black finish, which looks great but gets scratched and dust quite easily. The USB port is at the bottom, and this turbo power charger is rated 15 watt. Lenovo claims that you can get 6 hours of power in just 15 minutes of charge. I will definitely check that out in my battery charging speed test, which is on the way, so stay tuned. There you have the data cable, which is basically a micro USB to USB adapter. It's a shame that Moto G5 Plus is still featuring the old non-reversible, not so good looking port. You get the paperwork as usual and a small pin for ejecting the SIM card tray. The pin is shaped like a key and you can attach it to your keyring. That's all in the box, so let's get rid of these things here and have a close look at the handset itself. Let's quickly peel off the sticker. Well, the 5th generation Moto G Plus gets complete design overhaul. It's nothing like the typical Motorola devices with fat profile and entry-level look. It's now more serious, more stylish, and feels extremely premium in hand. Though it's not a full metal unibody device like the Moto M, which I would have really appreciated, but still it's much better looking than its predecessor. The biggest change on the design is of course the smaller display. This 5.2 inch screen is much easier to use compared to a 5.5 inch screen you have on the Redmi Note 4 or Moto M. So if you are into Redmi Note 4 but want a smaller device that fits in your hand, then this Moto G5 Plus is the best alternative. So this is another good reason this smartphone can divert the Redmi fans into this Lenovo smartphone. And the opposite is also true, that is, if you are just crazy about big smartphone displays, then you have to go for the Redmi Note 4 or the Moto M Galaxy J7 Prime or on Next if you are not into gaming. This 5.2 inches TFT LCD screen boasts of full HD resolution with best-in-class 424 ppi, so images look extremely smooth and crisp. The color rendering and the brightness of the display are quite good. This 5.2 inch screen is not small at all. You can still read the small text quite well. The most exciting thing on this 5th generation Moto G Plus is this hybrid fingerprint sensor, because you can use it just for the fingerprint sensor or activate home key function with swipe right for the app switcher and swipe left for the back function. Just above the display you get the ear speaker grill, which will work as the loudspeaker as well. So you get a front firing speaker, and the front camera is 5 megapixel with f2.2. There is both proximity and ambient sensors, but no LED notification light. At the left side of the phone there is absolutely nothing, and on the right you get the volume rocker and the textured power key, which are actually plastic. At the bottom you have the micro USB port, which is OTG enabled, that is you can attach your pen drive, hard drive, your mouse, keyboards, etc. This is the primary microphone hole, and there you have the 3.5mm headphone jack. The top houses the SIM card tray. A lot of Chinese manufacturers including Xiaomi feature hybrid SIM trays, but Lenovo didn't make any mistake. You have dedicated slots for your nano SIM cards and the SD card, which is expandable up to 128GB, and this is a deal breaker for me because thanks to Jio I have to now carry two smartphones. My Pixel and my iPhone 7, 16 or even 32GB storage is not enough for hardcore gaming, and when you can record 4K videos I need a high-speed SD card installed into my phone. Next, let's talk about the rear camera. Well, it's a 12 megapixel shooter with 4K recording. The Europe, Middle East and African versions don't get the 4K recording. You also get first-in-class dual autofocus pixels, which is up to 60% faster than the laser autofocus we have seen on the Moto G5 Plus. There you have the secondary microphone hole for noise cancellation. Now the back cover of this phone is made of aluminum, but the frame around the phone is actually plastic. The shiny edges are chrome finished, but I like the way how it imitates metal. You cannot tell which part is metal, which is plastic. Overall, the design and the aesthetics of this phone are quite good, though I won't say it's the best looking phone in its class. Moto M and Galaxy J7 Prime are on next. Even the La Eco devices have better looks. Let me actually show you the Moto M and the G5 Plus side by side. Moto M is by far the best looking smartphone in the mid-range category. I just wish Motorola put the same hardware as the Moto G5 Plus into the upcoming Moto M2, then I won't have any complaint at all. But again, this 5th generation Moto G offers much better design than its predecessor. Next, I have also for you the Redmi Note 4, which is the closest competitor to this smartphone, and last year the Redmi Note 3 with Snapdragon 650 processor was the king of the lower mid-range segment, but this year they have decided to go for the Snapdragon 625, which basically paved the way for other manufacturers to compete with the Xiaomi smartphones. And when you have the Moto Z Play costing 25,000 rupees having the same hardware, I was really surprised to see Snapdragon 625 on the 5th generation Moto G Plus. It's an undenying fact that you cannot beat Xiaomi in terms of pricing. You can get a 64GB Redmi Note 4 at just 13,000 rupees, that is at 4,000 rupees cheaper. So if your budget is below 13,000 rupees, then still the Redmi Note 4 is the best phone you can go for. The new Moto boot animation is really awesome. Let me actually quickly show you how small is this display compared to a 5.5 inch screen, and it's considerably smaller, but not too small, I will say. Well, the device is ultimately ready. The all-new Moto G Plus 5th generation is running on Android 7.0 Nougat, and the UI is more or less stock Android with a touch of Pixel launcher. That is, you get this new dock at the bottom, so there is space for one more application and you won't have to look for the apps drawer icon, just swipe up for the apps drawer. The pure version of Android ensures smoother performance, though I have to actually use this device for a while to comment on that. I will talk about the performance of this phone in the full in-depth review, so keep in touch. As you know, I got the 4GB RAM variant, and out of the box you get 2.6GB free for the user, which is more than enough. The storage is 24.59GB free, out of which 765MB is already used by the preloaded applications. So if you go for the 15,000 rupees variant, then the free storage will be approximately 9GB and the RAM will be 1.6GB free for the user. So I suggest you to spend just 2,000 rupees more and get this version. These are the preloaded apps, and most of these are system apps except for the Moto app, which offers some really nice and handy features. As you know, Lenovo removed this app from the Moto M, which I didn't like at all. I mean, don't make it a Lenovo smartphone, keep it Motorola. This application defines a Motorola phone. Especially this Moto display is very useful. You can peek into your notifications even without unlocking the smartphone, and these actions are so nice, especially this new one button navigation option. Let me actually show you what it does. The on-screen navigation keys are eating up space and doesn't look good, so when you activate this option, you can actually just swipe left to go back and swipe right for the app switcher. Such an amazing and clever way to utilize the fingerprint sensor. I think each and every smartphone should do this. iOS allows you to go back just by swiping at the edge, but this is far better. You get just one key like iOS, but all the functionalities of Android. The typical Moto features are also there. With a chop motion like this, you can enable the flashlight, and with a twist motion, you can enable the camera as well. Twisting again will switch the cameras. If you think this display is too big for your one-handed usage, you can actually shrink the screen to your right or left, but this disables the one key navigation option. Now to swipe right, just swipe up and right, just like so. Swiping left will actually shrink to left. It's as easy as that. You can also enable pickup to stop ringing and flip for the do not disturb mode. So indeed, these features are very useful and interesting. The next thing I want to quickly check is the camera. The laser autofocus we had on the Moto G5 Plus was really very fast, the best I had seen on a mid-range, but this time we have a 60% faster camera and looks like the autofocus is blazing fast. And I should mention here the maximum aperture is f1.7, which is also great, and the image seems rightly in focus. The color recording is also quite punchy. Now I'm gonna show you some samples taken by this Moto G5 Plus and compare them with Redmi Note 4 and Moto M. The first images are from G5 Plus, followed by the Redmi Note 4 and Moto M. This video is in 4K, so make sure you watch this part in full resolution. Now let's quickly compare the specs and the AnTuTu benchmark score in between the Redmi Note 4, Moto G5 Plus and the Moto M. As you know, Redmi Note 4 and G5 Plus share the same CPU GPU RAM. You get Snapdragon 625 chipset with 2.02 GHz Cortex-A53 octa-core processor and Adreno 506 GPU. Whereas Moto M features MediaTek 6755 chipset with 2.14 GHz octa-core processor. The GPU is Mali T860. You know the rest of the specs, so let's move to the benchmark. As you can see, the G5 Plus scores slightly higher than the Redmi Note 4. The Motorola smartphone is approximately 4,000 rupees pricier, so considering the value for money factor, the Redmi Note 4 is the most value for money device. The score on the Moto M is quite mediocre considering its price and its competitors. Well friends, we are at the end of this unboxing and hands-on, and if you ask me, well, I will go for this smartphone mainly because of the fact that 5.2 inch screen is more user-friendly for one-handed usage, and I do like the Moto features, especially the Moto display and the one-key navigation feature. If the camera, battery, heat management and gaming performance are up to the mark, then I would definitely recommend this phone for 15 or 17,000 rupees. But of course, Redmi Note 4 is a worthy competitor with 4,000 rupees less price tag, a bigger 5.5 inches display, and of course 4100 mAh battery compared to 3000 on this Moto G5 Plus. The complete review is on the way, so don't miss that. Stay tuned. Remember to hit the subscribe button below and keep in touch. This is Shukesh signing off. Thanks a lot for watching.